Hi, my name is Mitch Zusman, creator of Easy Pull Tile Spacer. Today I'm going to show you how it works. We have a mock-up here of a floor, or it could be a countertop, with a backsplash, could be in the kitchen. Normally on a wood surface you'd want to use hardy backer, wonderboard, or Durarock to strengthen the floor before you set the tile on top. Today for this example we're just going to go ahead and set mastic glue with a tile on top of the mastic. Our first step is to go ahead and get a trowel with the mastic on it applied to the wood where you're going to be setting the tile. We're going to do the floor first, and then we'll do the backsplash. Spread your thin set or your mastic like this evenly to get a good bond. You don't want to have it in clumps. You just want to evenly spread it with about a 45-degree of the trowel. Once you have the pre-designated area where you're going to start your tile job, you go ahead and you place the first tile down. Press firmly down to get it into place. We're going to set our second piece of tile right next to it. Depending on what width of joint you would like for your grout joints is the size of spacer that you'd have to pick out. Today we're going to use the 1/8 inch Easy Pull Tile Spacer. The spacers do have a little different design than most spacers. Most spacers just have the 4 prongs. We have an easy pull tab that makes it easy to pull out, no chipping tile, fast and easy, and it does save you a lot of time and money. We would go ahead and place the spacer right into the joint, and on a backsplash like this, you cannot usually put one of these spacers in there. With the Easy Pull Tile Spacer, you can use a stem and put the stem in there. It'll evenly space it just like the one in the front that's down in the 45-degree angle. So let's place a couple more tiles down using the Easy Pull Tile Spacers. Using the stems again to gauge how thick we want the grout joints, you'll have an evenly spaced 1/8 inch joints. Now let's move on to the next course. Since the spacers were already set, you just take the front of the tile, stick them right in front of the spacers, set it down, therefore you have your 1/8 inch grout joint. Let's do a couple more. Very simple to use, easy to pull out. Now during the course of the drying process, I would assume it would take overnight for this to dry. When you come back in the morning, you can go ahead and take your hand and pull these spacers out simply by pulling them out by the stem. Simple and easy. No more chipping tile, removing them. No more tombstoning 4 tile spacers per intersection of tile. You're wasting your time and money. This way, one spacer does one intersection. It has to be pulled out before you grout. It's a no-brainer, very simple. Now that we have the floor done, assuming that this is a kitchen countertop with a backsplash here, the homeowner suggested that I use a stone for the backsplash of their kitchen. That's fine. They've also directed me to do it in a staggered look, which would make it offset to the countertop. Let me show you how Easy Pull Tile Spacers work in that application. I've already pre-spread the thin set, or actually the mastic, on top of the backsplash here. We're going to go ahead by starting with the side, putting one of the tiles up on top of the backsplash. When applying tile to the backsplash, you always need a grout joint on the bottom. In this case, we're going to use the Easy Pull Tile Spacer 1/8 inch spacer for this application too. Now, on all spacers, at least in all R4 sizes of spacers that we currently carry, the stem is just as thick as all 4 prongs. Therefore, we can go ahead and stick a stem underneath to support it and also get the height that we need of an 1/8 inch. Let's go ahead and set another tile. Take 2 more spacers, use the stems, set them underneath, push them down, and you got your 1/8 inch. Also on the vertical lines here of the backsplash, you can also separate it with an 1/8 inch spacer there also. Therefore, not needing T spacers or a bunch of other little spacers just filled in. One spacer does it all. Let me go ahead and finish this course across using the same application, using the spacers pull tabs underneath to get the height required that we need. Also, I'll use the stems again to get the vertical lines an 1/8 inch distance apart with the stems in place. Again, using the spacers underneath to prop it up to that 1/8 inch distance. One more spacer for the vertical on the side. And then we're spaced evenly, 1/8 inch on the bottom, 1/8 inch vertically. Now, the homeowner suggested that I do a staggered look. Most common spacers won't accommodate that. Using easy pull tile spacers, if we're going to stagger the tile, setting it on top, do the same method as down here below. Use 1/8 inch spacers underneath, set them down. There's your 1/8 inch gap. We'll do the vertical line here also, with 2 more to get us the 1/8 inch gap joint on the bottom. So not only does easy pull tile spacers do well on normal intersections, it also can do staggered tile very nicely, simple and fast. Have no problems pulling them out tomorrow when this is dry. I'd like to show you a couple other features also that you can get out of easy pull tile spacers. I've turned our mock-up upside down to show you that maybe this could be a wall in the shower. When you use our spacers, you want to have them so the stems are pointing down, at least when you're stacking a wall. If you need to level as you go up gradually course by course, the stems don't get in the way of your level. You can still level them off and check with the spacers in. You can check every row as you stack up. So if you need to check, spacers are not in the way, they stay planted, and therefore we can go ahead and get a straight level shower. Another feature of easy pull tile spacers, after you set the spacers, you should probably get a sponge and wash down and clean up the tile for the next day before you go out. With easy pull tile spacers, as you can probably see, my hand is a lot tougher than a sponge that you would use to wipe down the spacers. Once you set them, you can go ahead and wipe a sponge. They do not come out until you pull them out. So as far as them getting in the way of cleaning off your tile after you set them, won't happen. You can rub it as much as you want, get it clean, come on down. Also too, when you do pull them out and you're using a floor or a backsplash, you can use the stems to clean out your grout joints. Thank you for watching the video on easy pull tile spacers. Today's application was used with an 1/8 inch easy pull tile spacer. We do have 4 sizes. The smallest one would be a 1/16 inch. This one that we use today is a 1/8 inch. We have 3/16 and 1/4.